This Memorial Day weekend continues on a glorious day at Coors Field. The flyover, an enormous crowd expected. The final game of this homestand for the Rockies, and they look to take 2 of 3 from the St. Louis Cardinals. And a most pleasant good afternoon, everybody. With George Frazier, I'm Drew Goodman. Happy Memorial Day weekend to one and all. Well, there is joy in Mudville. The Rockies scored 15 runs yesterday on 18 hits. If there was one club in Major League Baseball that needed that kind of outburst, it was the Rockies.
Yeah, it really was. And guys inside that lineup that did some big damage at the bottom of it. Spielborgs and Iannetta, 7 for 9. And, of course, a career day for Chris Iannetta. A couple of home runs. He had 4 hits. He had 6 RBIs. But it all started at the top early in that ball game with Eric Young Jr. with a base hit, stolen base, and then Fowler. And it all just got a whole lot better when they put a 6 spot on in the very first inning against Jaime Garcia, who is very, very good.
Jaime Garcia had been lights out this year, and the Rockies ran him out of there pretty quick. And you mentioned Spielborgs and Iannetta. They combined for 10 RBIs out of the 7 and 8 spot in the lineup. That has not happened in a big league baseball game in almost 5 years. In fact, the last time it happened, it was the Dodgers doing it to the Rockies right here at 20th and Blake. When we come back, we'll check on the pitching matchup today. It is an outstanding one. Has provided that yesterday. 3 hits at the top of the lineup. Easy, don't get hurt. Giambi's an older guy. He shouldn't be doing that, George.
Might pull a muscle. You never know.
Let's take a look at the pitching matchup this afternoon. Kyle Loesch will go for the Cardinals. Yolis Chassin will go for the Rockies. These are 2 of the 3 hardest guys so far in the National League to hit this year.
Well, the one thing, when you talk to Dave Duncan, his big thing about pitching, pitch to contact, work deep into ball games, shorten your pitch count up, and that's what Loesch does. He's a guy that's going to work both sides of the plate. He's going to use 4 pitches to do it, and he likes to really work off the fastball, and he's done that in his starts this year. Battled an awful lot of injuries, and now all of a sudden this year they're seeing the Kyle Loesch that was in Minnesota about 7-8 years ago. His last win against the Rockies came in a Minnesota uniform in 2003. And then on the other side of that, Jhoulys Chacín has done a wonderful job for this Rocky ball club. And I know he was excited with last night Juan Nicasio coming up and doing what he did. Both started in Casper together. But look what he's done. 7 innings in his last couple of starts, working deep in the ball game, taking pressure off your lineup, off your bullpen, and allowing your lineup to score some runs for you.
Well, Chacín and Loesch they've been very good so far, and they like to work deep in ball games, as George described. The Rockies are trying to do something they have not done since mid-April: win a 3-game series. Colorado, St. Louis, come on back to Coors Field with us. A little afternoon baseball in lower downtown Denver. There's the Tivoli over on the Auraria campus. Stepping in will be Ryan Theriot, who's riding an 11-game hitting streak in the rest of Tony La Russa's lineup for the Cardinals in their 120th season, believe it or not. John Jay, then Albert Pujols, Berkman will bat cleanup, Alan Craig, Colby Rasmus, Yadier Molina, Daniel Descalso, and then Loesch. No Matt Holliday again. He's getting closer to coming back, but they want to give that sore left quadricep another day or so. First pitch misses to Theriot. He's got a .303 batting average, and that's way inside. He throws the bat out of his hand, trying to get out of the way at 91 miles an hour. So it's 2-0 on Theriot. Theriot is a lifetime .284 hitter. So he's always been able to swing it. Now he's got a 12-game hitting streak.
Does a nice job just staying behind the ball and going where the pitch is thrown, and that's what he does here against Chassin. Looking at the numbers today on Yolis Chassin, pretty good numbers, folks. 5-3, 309 earned run average. At home, he has pitched very well, just hasn't got the record to show for it. The overall record at home is 7-8 in his career, 362. But this year, 2-2 record with a 257 earned run average, and the opposition still having difficulty at 203 average against him.
Runner going. It's a hit and run. Jay does a good job.
Yeah, ball well over his head just to make contact. Chassin made a start against St. Louis on July 6th a year ago. Went 3 innings, 4 runs. He walked a man, struck out 3. He gave up a home run in that ball game. That home run, Matt Holliday, who's not in the lineup.
That's dropped over the outside corner. It's 0-2 on Jay. Jay also swinging the bat very well, hitting .432 on this road trip for the Cardinals, and he's got an 8-game hitting streak. If you can hit for Tony La Russa, you play.
Yeah, you know what, Craig, Green, they've got guys playing all over the place. You know, he doesn't care. If you play hitter, you're going to get to play in the game.
Right. And then if the Cardinals have a lead, then he'll worry about defense the final 2-3 innings.
And that's what he has done. The other night, of course, the Cardinals had a big lead, 10-3. And the other thing he does is really protect the veterans. Yesterday, he dumped his bench out and had Cruz come in. Berkman was gone. Pujols was gone. Get the everyday lineup out of there when the ball game got out of hand.
And George, it's a smart thing to do because now he's got Molina starting again today.
Well, he's got Molina starting. The other side of that, too, you don't want anybody to get hurt. Started to rain yesterday in the 8th inning.
Jay almost offered at it. It was just off the plate, 2-2.
Well, on a 4th strike zone, it'll tell you exactly where the pitch was and maybe why there were some moans and groans. But it is off the plate. The breaking ball a little bit high.
See if Tony starts Terrio here.
Doesn't do a lot of hit and run. He doesn't do a lot of base stealing. They stole 28 bases against right-handers, only 4 against left-handers. But he does the conventional things, what Drew's talking about, putting guys in motion, try to stay out of double play balls, particularly in fastball counts.
Not going, and this ball's well hit to right, and it is gone. 2-run home run. John Jay is 4th of the year, and those two have just been on fire. 12-game hitting streak for Terrio, now a 9-game hitting streak for Jay, and the Cardinals are off quickly against Chassin.
Well, they have the ability to wash things off. They washed off a bad game yesterday, yet they put some tallies on the board. Now he gets a fastball up into the zone and just set on it. This ball never had an opportunity to get down and away where Chris Iannetta wanted it. You see Iannetta's eyes close, and Chassin would like to close his eyes watching the flight of this baseball.
Well, George, that was a 1-foot miss up in the zone. That was right in the happy zone for John Jay. Here's Albert Pujols, ball 1.
Well, early on, Chassin throwing and running. In baseball pitching terms, you call running away from his arm. In other words, everything's flying early, elbows down and trailing late. And then I think it's more of just a minor adjustment, and then the ball all of a sudden results down in the zone where he's been all year.
Chassin has given up 8 home runs. Really the only blemish on what has been a terrific start for Chassin. 5-3 record, a 3.09 ERA. The only guys that have been tougher to hit in terms of opponent batting average this year, Josh Johnson, who's currently on the disabled list, that's foul, for Florida, 185, and Kyle Loesch at 199.
There's another guy that would be mixed into that, and that's Garcia from St. Louis yesterday, but he gave up 12 runs. That changed the whole picture for his ERA and his outing.
League hitting just 203 against Yolis. Righties 197 coming in. Lefties 209. Here's the 1-2 on Albert. He went around. One out as Lance Berkman comes up. Defensively, Cargo again in left, Dexter Fowler in center, Spilborghs in right, Wigginton, Tulowitzki, EY at second, Todd Helton at first, Chris Iannetta behind the plate. Why not roll out the same lineup, George?
Why not? I mean, you're exactly right. We put up 15 on the board yesterday, swung the bat well.
Berkman had a drive to center field knocked down by the wind yesterday early in the game against Juan Nicasio. What a job that kid did.
Yeah, it's great to watch yesterday. And again, it's what makes it interesting to watch, he lived off his fastball. His slider got better as the game went along. The changeup was okay, but his fastball command was off the charts yesterday. Through 90-something pitches, 70-some of them were for strikes. A lot of balls put in play, and I was giving him a hard time today. I said, you finally hit the ball, because he'd struck out 3 times, and everybody was kind of getting on him a little bit. Better make contact, and he hit it to second, and he forgot to run. And then he took off running really fast. Fun to watch this young man come up and pitch and do a good job for the farm system and obviously for the big league ball club.
And in that picture there, you see Chris Nelson. Chris is up with the ball club now. 2 balls and a strike. Before the or after the conclusion of yesterday's game, Alfredo Amezaga was designated for assignment. Here's the move. So Chris, who was tearing it up in Colorado Springs, 40 RBIs, George 315. He did a nice job in the big leagues last year. And he was.
He's one of your own. He's a number 1 draft pick. I mean, he deserves it. He's played well at AAA.
He's played really well, and he's played second, short, third, primarily short down in Colorado Springs. Obviously, he's not going to play shortstop here, but he'll take ground balls at all 3 spots. Here's the 3-2, and that misses badly. So Berkman walks, and that'll bring up Alan Craig. This replay brought to you by the Colorado Lottery. Don't forget to buy your bonus millionaire raffle tickets before the last bonus drawing on June the 12th. Juan Nicasio making his major league debut. He's never pitched in AAA. Making the walk in with Chris Iannetta, and there he painted the outside corner.
Defense played a role early in this ball game. EY with a very nice turn on a double play on a ball hit to Tulowitzki, and then it was all up to Nicasio. And I think he found out that at the big league level, you throw strikes, you'll have success. I was a little off, 88 and 57. 2 strikeouts, that's fine. He was leading the Texas League in strikeouts when he was recalled to the big leagues yesterday, but he found out throwing strikes. Let the defense do its work, and out's an out.
Hey, 88 pitches covering 7 innings.
How about that?
Outstanding efficiency. He's a very pleasant, polite young man.
Well, signed late, too. A lot of the Latin American pitchers signed when they're 16 years old. They'll spend 3 years at the complex in the Dominican. They go on to Casper and then on up. And he was signed as a 19-year-old. He came to camp late. Delivery was just awful. Just absolutely awful. They cleaned up his delivery, and after 1 year in the Dominican, came to Casper and then on to Asheville, Modesto, and then this year to Tulsa.
Got a perfect frame. That's a great pitch. Breaking ball freezes Alan Craig. 2nd out of the inning, both on strikeouts, and that'll bring up Colby Rasmus.
Well, needing to kind of right the ship a little bit. Nicasio does just that on the breaking ball and locks up. Chacin comes down, and here's the pitch on the inner half and a strikeout. Although missed, it still will cause Craig to lock those knees up. By the way, Drew, you mentioned the Cardinals hitting 301. That's the highest since 1950 to hit 301 out on the road. The Yankees, in 94 hit 297. So the 2 clubs are hitting that high out on the road. And the Cardinals have been one of those teams to do just that.
Georgia native Colby Rasmus with a 1-strike count. Berkman's at first. And a ground ball up the middle, and that's a knock for Rasmus, who had 4 hits on Friday night, snapping an 0 for 20 spell. This is turning into a lengthy first inning for Yoeli Chacín. He's thrown 24 pitches. He gave up a 2-run home run to Jay. And now he deals with Yadier Molina with more traffic. Cardinals put the ball in play. Up and down their lineup. And this guy's no different. He's off to a terrific offensive start at 3-12. Runners in scoring position against Chacín this year. This is how you win games, George. Money pitches, league hitting 130.
Yeah, well, that's just shutting the inning down is what it is. It just don't allow it to happen, and that's where he's utilized both the changeup, slider, and then a very good fastball.
Molina way out in front on a curveball. It's 1-1. Molina the last couple of weeks hitting .410.
That all started since May 15th. 16 for 39.
Two and one. Two-time All-Star, 3 straight Gold Gloves for Yadier Molina. And sharply hit, and it's going to drive in a run. Here comes Berkman with the Cardinals' 3rd run in the first. Yadier Molina's 24th RBI, and this is turning into a very difficult start for Chacín.
Yeah, Bob Apodaca going out to slow the game down a little bit for Chacín. Just what you're mentioning. It's 28 pitches. A lot of these are not being caught by the catcher right now, so you got to make a switch. That ball up. See where Ionetta is sitting up way on the outside corner. Tulowitzki with the dive, not able to knock it down. Berkman comes in. Now you have first and third, just out of the reach of Troy Tulowitzki.
Well, every hitting coach preaches virtually the same thing, and that is stay in the big part of the field. Think of 3 of the 4 hits in this inning. Terrio, line drive, center field, basically, right center field. And then the 2-run home run was pulled by John Jay. But Berkman walked, Rasmus a base hit up the middle, Molina a well-struck ball up the middle.
Now, Mark McGuire a year ago got criticized a little early in the year when their team struggled to hit, but now he's getting high praises heaped on him with his thought process and approach to hitting and relaying it to these hitters.
The Cardinals right now saying right back at you after the Rockies scored a 6th spot against Jaime Garcia in the first inning last night. The Cardinals have 3 here in the first, and they may not be done. They have Descalso up there. Rasmus at third, Molina at first. 3 runs on 4 hits here in the top of inning number 1. He's not going to give in here 2-0. First base may be occupied, but the pitcher's spot on deck. And if you have to load him up to face Kyle Loesch, you may prefer to do that than sending a cookie over the middle of the plate to Descalso. Three and 0.
Well, the one thing I noticed more than anything with Chacín today is the inability to hit the target or the pitch called by Chris Ionetta. The hit by Molina was a miss by a foot. The home run missed by a foot to John Jay, and they made him pay.
Ball to strike.
Yeah, matched up, but not with the umpire. 3-1 count.
It's fouled off, 3-2. Well, if that ball landed on your windshield, you'd have an issue, a problem. And
it would be a problem. Well, be easy to fix. You call these guys.
That's right. You call Safelite Auto Glass at 303-287-5000 or go to safelite.com. All the baseball fields you've been at, George, you ever had one land on the windshield?
Hood, windshield. Yeah. With the old truck, you just take a hammer and beat it out and don't worry about it.
Exactly. Did that to your dashboard last year. Strike 3 on a hook. So finally, Chacin can make that walk to the dugout, but the Cardinals got 3. Home run, Yadier Molina single to drive in a run. So the Rockies behind the 8 ball to begin. Eric Young Jr. will start things off for Colorado. There's EY. Good day yesterday, 3 for 6. 4 for his first 10 since returning to the big leagues. Also had a stolen base yesterday. The rest of the lineup is exactly the same as you saw in last night's ball game, in which the Rockies pounded out 18 hits, 15 runs. Fowler, Cargo, Tulowitzki, Helton, Wigginton, Spilborghs, Iannetta, and Chacin. Junior studies that first pitch from Kyle Loesch. It's in there for strike 1 from the 32-year-old from Chico, California.
Had a lot of problems at Coors Field. 0-3, 768 earned run average. Kyle Loesch has, but he pitched brilliantly against the Rockies last year. After coming off the disabled list with the Cardinals, he went 7 innings. Gave up 3 hits, no runs, didn't figure into the decision.
But George, he has been awful here at Coors Field.
He has been. And I just mentioned 0-3, 768 earned run average. It has not been a pretty sight for him. And I mentioned in the open, his last win came in 2003 in a Twins uniform versus the Colorado Rockies. So it's been a while. He is a guy that'll give you 4 pitches and mix it. 10 starts, 6-2 overall record. Look at the great earned run average, 2.06, 74 innings thrown. It doesn't walk people. I mean, that's one thing Dave Duncan stresses. Pitch to contact. Let the defense work for you. And just work both sides of the plate. Well, obviously, you look at their staff. They don't walk a lot of people. They don't strike out a ton of people.
Dexter a double and a triple yesterday. The triple is 5th of the season. That's in there. I mean, Loesch is getting it, putting it right over the plate. That's what he's been doing all season long.
Least amount of pitches thrown to get outs. That's the key. Well, Jim Tracy yesterday put the 2 guys at the top of the order, Young and Fowler. He got that spark yesterday, and hoping to try to get that same type of spark in this game. Nasty pitch on the inside half and down. A hard slider gets Dexter.
So 2 outs. That'll bring up Carlos Gonzalez. St. Louis will have John Jay in left. Colby Rasmus, good center fielder. Lance Berkman in right's been holding his own. Of course, we've known him most of his career as a first baseman. Descalso, Terrio solid at short. Craig is a converted outfielder. Pujols at first. And Yadier Molina, one of the game's best defensive catchers. Cargo hits a high drive to center field. He just missed it. He got the barrel on this one, but he missed it by a grain. It lands in the glove of Rasmus. 3-0 St. Louis. And Frontier Days. Text ROCK followed by a space, and your name is 720-720. Message and data rates may apply. That's going to be another great summer at Old Cheyenne. On the ground to third. Wigginton will throw out low. So let's check in with Mark Stout for the first time this afternoon. Mark.
Drew, George, a little bit more on Chris Nelson. You mentioned he's back with the big team wearing number 10. I said, give me your top 2 memories from last season, because we all know what the number 1 memory is. September the 9th, stealing home against the Reds. In fact, he said his father said, do something else. I'm kind of tired of talking about it. The other one was his first start, June 22nd, Red Sox third base. First pitch of the game, Dustin Pedroia hammers one at him, and he said, I knew it was go time then. I'm in the big leagues. Had to throw him out and get into the game. So he is ready to go back with the big league club. Guys?
Oh, I'd appreciate it, Mark. He called mom and dad last night, and Stu Cole, the manager at AAA, let him know he was going to the big leagues. Of course, exciting news for the Nelson family, but also exciting news because his youngest sister just got into med school at the University of North Carolina. 3-0 on Terrio. Terrio started that first inning rally with a line single to right center field. He now has a 12-game hitting streak. That matches the longest hitting streak for any Cardinal this year. Matt Holliday had a 12-gamer earlier. Terrio's out of Baton Rouge. He played at LSU with Brad Hobb and Mike Fontenot. They won a national championship in 2000. He went to his hometown school, and he still makes his home in Baton Rouge. And the 3-2 is lined right at Gonzalez. Boy, is he locked in?
It looks like their whole ball club up and down their lineup is. Terrio's starting everything off for them.
All right, Toyota Talk. Weigh in. How nice was that to see yesterday? And hopefully it will lead to more of the same in the coming days. 15 runs on 18 hits for the Rockies yesterday. Text those thoughts Toyota, followed by a space. The thoughts at 720-720. 1-0 on John Jay, who had a 2-2 pitch into the seats in right. Just got it over the hand-operated scoreboard.
Yeah, they sure did. Fastball up, though. Very, very missed location by Chassin, and he made him pay for it just over the yellow line, but that's all it had to clear. Jay, 13 for 23 versus the Rockies in his career with a .565 average and 2 home runs. Need to figure out a way to solve that puzzle.
1-2. Well, the fastball just missed. Tried to bring it back over that inside corner. That would be pitch number 4 on the Ford strike zone. Chassin's best pitch early in this game, George, has been the overhand curve.
It has been, and it's relied on it to get some punch outs. Now he tried to ride the fastball after coming in with a hard heater up and away to left-handers. And it's a good pitch because it's difficult to get on top of, but you got to get it elevated.
Change up, he shook that off, heater away. Strike 3. And that is 4 strikeouts for Chassin, and a much better second, obviously, than first inning. Cards up 3-0. Between 4 and 6 at your Colorado Taco Bell locations, because the Rockies scored 7 runs yesterday. They actually scored 15. Tulowitzki lines one to left field, and it's tracked down by John Jay.
Yeah, not going to hit it much harder than what Tulowitzki did there. He hit that ball right on the line. It's just Jay made a nice catch in left field.
You can tell the approach, George, today from the Rockies.
They're swinging.
Swing early because he's going to throw you a strike.
Yeah, he's throwing a lot of strikes, going to swing early, and again, you've hit the ball hard, particularly right here by Tulowitzki. Nice catch by Jay.
Helton's up there with 1 out, and he takes a strike. That is just the 11th pitch for Kyle Lohse. He's gotten 4 outs already.
Well,
9 strikes, 2 balls.
The attitude he gives you on the mound, watch the pitch thrown. It's near held by Molina, but as soon as he gets the ball back on the mound, he's towing the rubber and ready to go to work. He's waiting on the hitter, and what that does is show a lot of aggressiveness by a pitcher. It also puts a hitter on edge because it takes them out of their rhythm. There's not a lot of walking around and doing a lot of things for Kyle Lohse.
And he strikes out Helton. That's 3 strikeouts for Lohse, who's never been a big strikeout pitcher. Time for our Geico quote of the day. The White Rat, Whitey Herzog. We need 3 kinds of pitching: left-handed, right-handed, and relief.
And Whitey still comes around the ballpark quite a bit in St. Louis. Good friends with Tony La Russa and very welcomed, obviously, by the Cardinal faithful there in St. Louis. Will go in the Hall of Fame.
George, for years, he had a place up in the mountains here. I think up Breckenridge. I don't know if he still does.
Huge fisherman. Loves to fish. Bass, trout. It's Whitey's favorite pastime is to go out fishing with his grandkids.
Ty Wigginton, 238. 1-1 count with 2 outs and nobody on. And this ball is unloaded on right center field, and it is one hop off the fence. It's going to end up a double for Wigginton.
He's upped his average against Kyle Loesch, where he saw him an awful lot in the American League. Now 6 for 12, 500. It was 417 coming in.
Well, he and Helton has really typically swung the bat well against Loesch.
Fastball, one of the few that got elevated by Kyle Loesch, and Wigginton just drove it into right center field and out of the reach of Berkman and out of the reach of Rasmus.
Into second, safe at second, safe and secure. New York Life. So if the Rockies can steal a 2-out run. Spilborgh's 3 hits yesterday. He drove in 4. Off the plate, ball 1. Spilly playing every game in right field in this series for Seth Smith. Smith told me earlier he thinks he can start tomorrow when the Rockies head to Los Angeles. This replay brought to you by the Colorado Lottery. Don't forget to buy your bonus millionaire raffle tickets before June the 12th. Spilborgh's day yesterday, RBI hit, and an RBI walk, and then he blasted a triple off the center field wall. 1-1, misses away, 2-1. Good eye for Spilborgh's.
Now, one thing that's been very noticeable in this ball game early, Vic Carapazza, the home plate umpire, low ball umpire. And he's called some low strikes. For a pitcher's viewpoint, you like to see that.
And a ground ball to Pujols. Loesch will get out of it. A 2-out double by Wigginton. He is left there. We've played 2 innings. The Cardinals have all the runs. Sports is brought to you by your neighborhood Toyota stores. Toyota, moving forward. By AT&T, the nation's fastest mobile broadband network. By the Colorado Lottery, don't forget to play. And by the Rocky Mountain Coal Mining Institute, promoting Western coal through education. Visit rmcmi.org. First pitch of inning number 3 is a strike to Pujols. We celebrate Memorial Day weekend here at Coors Field. 1 ball, 1 strike. Just a tremendous crowd today. Well over 40,000. And Rockies behind 3-0. Drew Goodman, George Frazier, Mark Stout. And Pujols bounces this one foul. I had an interesting conversation with Albert today. He's talking about Tulowitzki, what a great young player he is. He reminded him that, you know what, it's a long season. Even fellow stars have to sometimes remind the other stars that, you know, you can't get down if the numbers aren't where you want them to be. This ball to third. Wigginton's going to throw out Albert by about 4 strides. And even Pujols' numbers are down by his ridiculously high standards. But he said, you know what, it only takes 2 months. You get hot for 2 months, you're going to get your numbers.
Well, the interesting thing about Albert Pujols is the 8 home runs he has now is the same amount he had at this time a year ago. So the RBI's down, the average down, but the home runs are the same. And the other day, Friday night, 2 guys on scoring position. He comes up with 2 base hits and 2 RBIs. He will hit. He will drive in runs. It's not an accident. Guys like he, Helton, have put up the numbers over a long period of time throughout their career.
Berkman takes a breaking ball first strike. He walked on a 3-2 pitch his first time. 1 ball, 1 strike. You know, people were saying to Berkman, boy, you look great. You must have lost a bunch of weight. That's why things are going better for you this year. He said, no. He said, I'm 222 pounds. And you can look it up. Last year, that's what I played at. But because his legs are healthier, it's a much better distributed 222 pounds. He's in better shape. He's listed at 229 in that graphic, but he's playing at 222, and he walks for the 2nd time in the game.
Hey, don't forget the Dodgers are coming to town. That's right, June 9th through the 12th. The Dodgers will be here, and you can watch them on Root Television as they take on the Colorado Rockies.
Alan Craig at the plate. He was caught looking his first time. 4 strikeouts for Chacin. 3 backward Ks in the game. His pitch count's elevated. He's at 57 pitches already. 2-run home run by John Jay in the first. RBI single by Yadier Molina. And this should be 2. Great feed. That's the key. That initial feed on a comebacker, and it was a perfect feed from Chacin. 1-6-3 on the turn. On the sunscreen today, Cardinals leading 3-0. Clear skies above. Chris Iannetta will lead things off in the Rockies' third. He had a decent day yesterday, and he's going to start off his Sunday afternoon very similar to yesterday. He's digging for two, and he's got himself a double. Just a carryover from yesterday for Chris Iannetta, a career day at the plate. Here's our McDonald's Big Mac Smack. A couple of Big Mac Smacks from Iannetta yesterday. 4 hits, a career high, and 6 RBIs, a career high. Text McD to 720-720 and get a free Egg McMuffin or Big Mac with the purchase of any drink valid at participating McDonald's. You see Chris sometimes almost too patient at the plate. He was harking back to the line that Clint Hurdle said about Iannetta. He said Chris sometimes thinks he gets 4 strikes, and he does walk a lot, which is terrific.
His average up to 242 prior to that hit. Now it's 248 for Chris Iannetta. Well, with the catcher running, the Cardinals really want to make sure they have their bunt defense set up properly, because this is where you can, with an athletic pitcher on the mound like Kyle Loesch, get the runner at third base in a tag situation.
They bluffed the wheel, and the Rockies took the bunt off. It's 1-1. Chacin wants to make the third baseman field it in a perfect world. Descalso dumps it in that direction. Molina bluffs to third. Did he get him? Barely. And give Chacin a lot of credit, George. He busted it up the line.
Well, yeah, and when Molina came out of the box, his thought first was to go to Descalso at third to try to get Iannetta. Iannetta was hustling, so he backs off, but Chacin was flying up the first base line after this bunt. So now you're going to create a problem. See, I think they had a shot, other than Descalso came in too tight, but then the throw to first base. That was close.
That was close. Bang, bang at first. Here's EY Jr. Runner at third and 1 out. Rockies a chance to break the ice against Kyle Loesch. Loesch, George, is just way ahead of his career numbers. The league hitting just 199 against Loesch coming in. In his career, they've hit above 270. Last year, they hit 348 against him. This ball is lifted to the outfield, and it should be deep enough to get Iannetta home. Here's Jay airing it out. It's on line, but not in time. That's a good situational at bat by Eric Young Jr. Only guy who's going to hit it on the ground, George, recognized the situation and got it deep enough to the outfield. And the Rockies lead it 3-1.
Well, your pitcher's got to cooperate, and that's exactly what they did for Young. With his new stance and approach at the plate for EY, obviously it's an ability to be calmer, the head's quieter, makes a lot more contact with swinging the bat.
Let me correct that. The Cardinals lead 3-1. 2 outs, nobody on. Dexter pulls it to second. So the Rockies get a run off Loesch. They take advantage of the double by Iannetta leading off the inning. The Rockies battle back with a run here in the bottom of the third. So we go to the fourth. It's 3-1. It's time to check our Suzuki minor league report presented by Suzuki Auto's all-wheel drive lineup. Suzuki, the power of engineering. Aaron Cook threw 99 pitches, working deep into the 8th inning yesterday, and he is set to return to the Rockies rotation. Jeff Salazar ended up having the game-winning home run yesterday in extra innings. The longtime Rockies kicked around baseball now. A couple of home runs. Willeen Rosario, another home run. Josh Rutledge, 4 for 5 for Modesto.
Yeah, good looking shortstop coming out of Alabama. I mean, this guy can really pick it. Good arms, got some average inside, and now you're starting to see a solid bat come through. And Rosario's average has jumped. It was at about 250 2 weeks ago, so he's starting to swing the bat much better.
He's got 8 home runs now also. Talking to Marv Foley, he was really impressed with how he was receiving the ball when Marv was in Tulsa recently. Rockies major league catching instructor. He roved the last few years, but he still gets out to the minor leagues periodically. 1 ball, 1 strike on Colby Rasmus. Base hit for Rasmus his first time. There's that good curveball. I don't think he's missed with the curveball yet, has he, George?
No, he hasn't. And the strikeouts have been with the curveball, and you see hitters giving up on it too. That's the key for me. It's just kind of like the hands relax out of the release of the hand of Chacin, and hitters not reacting to it.
Good Loesch, just 28 pitches.
Chacin was 62 pitches. And of course, that long first inning didn't help.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And Rasmus drives it out of the ballpark. 4-1 for Colby Rasmus, his 4th of the year. And a lot of the misses today for Chacin, George, have been belt high and above.
Well, Ionetta trying to work both sides and work down. They'd come inside. They've shown the breaking ball. But you can see right now where we're talking about. They want this pitch on the inner half of the plate right along in here. So I'm going to leave a line there, and then you tell me where you think this pitch was. See that pitch start to run? You see Ionetta's glove move from here to here, and it's up out of the zone and away from him where he can extend his arms, because Rasmus stays on top, but a belt high about 4 inches above it. I said this yesterday on the telecast. Colby Rasmus, to me, is kind of a fun guy to watch play. Plays with a little edge on him. There's a chip on the shoulder. Very glides after balls in the outfield, and above average arm.
He's got above average power, too. He hit 23 home runs last year. Two balls and a strike on Molina. He had an RBI hit his first time. On the ground to Tulowitzki. 1 out as we check in with Mark Stout with today's Fast Cash Sideline Report, brought to you by Fast Cash Gold Centers, where you'll always get 40% more for your gold. Mark.
Guys, hoping this might be our last Aaron Cook update. War number 45 for the Sky Sox last night. Threw 99 pitches, and he had a goal in mind when he was on the mound.
I just want to accomplish is get late into the game and give us a chance to win. You know, pitching down here is always different than pitching anywhere else, just because of elevation and the way that the ball plays here. But you know, I wanted to accomplish getting late into the game, and that's what I was able to do.
Had a lot of ground ball outs. The Rockies like what they saw. They'll have to make a decision probably coming up this week. Drew, George?
13 ground ball outs, Mark. It was a pretty good outing by Aaron Cook. Made 2 mistakes. He said the same guy crushed both of them in the same spot.
Here's the 1-1, and that's outside. 2-1 on Descalso. Three and 1. Full count on Descalso with the pitcher Loesch on deck. 2 shakes and a nod. Wells Fargo customers, get your 2-for-1 Rockies tickets today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. See a Wells Fargo banker for details. To Tulowitzki. That'll bring up Loesch. Kyle Loesch, originally a 29th round pick by the Chicago Cubs back in 1996. He was a draft and follow. He played 1 year of junior college baseball. A lot of good years with the Twins. His best year was 08 when he won 15 games, lost just 6 for the Cardinals. 3.78 ERA, was a 14-game winner in 2003 with the Twins. He's off to the best start of his career. 1-2. And the Cardinals leading the Central, George. Everybody's picked things up, most notably Kyle McClellan in the absence of Adam Wainwright. And offensively, they have been terrific. They get another run in the 4th on a Colby Rasmus home run. St. Louis 4 and the Rockies 1. Cargo to lead things off in the bottom of the 4th. Take a look at our AT&T trivia question. Albert Pujols made his big league debut 10 years ago. Since that time, who's the only player to have hit more home runs than Pujols' 416? Hint, he's a really good player. Carlos Gonzalez.
Is that all you got for us? He's a really good player?
Yeah.
That's it?
That's it. It's a big hint, isn't it?
Does he make $32 million a year and wear pinstripes?
Loesch took something off there. It's 0-2 on Gonzalez. Cargo hit a high fly ball to deep center his first time up. Just missed it. And this is pulled to first.
We'll see what Loesch is doing, though, on all the power hitters. Now, Tulowitzki scalded one to left field. Putting on the gas, hitting the brakes. Put on the gas, hit the brakes. He's changing speeds off the fastball to a go along with location.
Rockies a run on 2 hits. Their game plan to be aggressive with Loesch, who's going to be in the strike zone consistently. That's been his MO this year.
Well, when you're in the 4th inning, you got 1 out, you've only thrown 32 pitches. That tells you something. I tell you, he's working great rhythm on the mound, getting the ball, getting on the rubber. Let's go. And he just repeats his delivery, arm slot. And the results are what you're looking for.
What's a change up here, 1-1.
Those circle change and then puts it in a spot right where he wants to. He's got as good a location with that as he does anything else.
And again, 2 very quick outs. Todd Helton coming up. Looking to save energy and money? Find out how the little changes add up at TogetherWeSave.com, your local Touchstone Energy cooperative, delivering reliable power, energy saving tools, and more. Helton struck out in his first at bat, and he's behind 0-2. He's had a lot of success in his career against Loesch. 8 for 18 with a home run. Not this time, though. Boy, oh boy, you talk about quick innings. This is a handful of pitches basically again. 4-1 as we go to the 5th. Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by your neighborhood Toyota stores. Toyota, moving forward. By the Colorado Lottery, don't forget to play. By Comcast, advertise your business locally on the network's People Watch. Go to ComcastSpotlight.com. And by Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo customers visit wellsfargo.com/Rockies for 2-for-1 club level seats. 3 in the first and a home run in the 4th inning by Colby Rasmus. The Cardinals leading at 4-1 as we go to the 5th. Chacin to Ryan Theriot, and he fouls his pitch off over the Rockies dugout. Theriot, John J. Albert Pujols. 1, 2, and 3 for St. Louis. Cardinals have 4 runs on 5 hits, a pair of home runs against Chacin in the game.
Well, the Rockies next time around, guys that have done the damage, Wigington, Iannetta, a couple of hits, couple of doubles.
Final game of a 10-day, 9-game road trip for St. Louis. They'll head home, and the Rockies will head out on a 10-day road trip. They'll play 9 games, 3 in Los Angeles, 3 in San Francisco next weekend, and then 3 in San Diego. Really over about 3.5 week period, the only time the Rockies out of the division against these Cardinals. So the Rockies need to turn things around again on the road. And they also need to turn things around inside the division where they've been beneath 500. And Arizona continues to play well. George, they're a half game behind the Giants entering play today.
But everything that they're looking for is starting to fall into place with the bullpen. And I think adding the closer, J.J. Poots, that made a big difference for them.
John Jay coming up with 1 out. Well, all season long, join us for Toyota Talk. We do it in the 6th inning. Rockies trying to build on what they did yesterday. 15 runs on 18 hits. Check in on your thoughts again next inning. Strike 1 on Jay, a 2-run home run. He was caught looking his next time up. Good news from Milwaukee in the 8th inning. The Brewers, who had a walk-off suicide squeeze from Jonathan LaCroix to bring home Ryan Braun to defeat the Giants yesterday. They're leading 6-0 in the 8th inning this afternoon. Ball and 2 strikes. Houston leading 2-1 over Arizona in the 7th inning down in Texas. And it's 3-2. Rockies, George, in Los Angeles will miss Clayton Kershaw. I'm sure they're not disappointed by that.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of nice. Billingsley, although a very tough number 2 guy in their rotation, you get him, then you get Ted Lilly, the veteran, but he's pitched well against the Rockies at Dodger Stadium, and then you get John Garland.
Big chopper. Handled nicely by Chacín. He was patient. With 2 outs and nobody on, Albert Pujols, who's 0 for 2. AT&T trivia question since 01. Who's the only player to have trotted around the bases more than Albert? Yes, it's that third baseman in New York, Alex Rodriguez. 433 home runs since 2001 for A-Rod. 8 home runs this year for Pujols. A strikeout and a ground ball to third. Sliders down low, ball 1. One and two. Hits it in the air to center field. Dexter barely had to move. Good inning for Chacín. 1-2-3 through the top of the Cardinals order. Time to get those bats going against Kyle Lohse. clutch plays of the week. Carlos Gonzalez hit a long ball, line drive into the fountains in center field. Jason Giambi continued on a tear earlier in the week, and then yesterday against Jaime Garcia, that's the first of 2 home runs for Chris Iannetta. Clutch plays of the week brought to you by Amco AA, MCO. Ty Wigginton, a swinging bunt, and low shot. No, he didn't get it. A leg hit for Wigginton.
Now he continues now 6 for 12 against Kyle Loach. And you know, this is kind of a nice number. Let me correct. Yeah, 6 for 12, 7 for 13 for Ty Wigginton. And when you're struggling as a hitter, you'll take any hit like you can find them. And here it is. It all looks like a line drive in the newspaper the next morning. Hustle wins this. Kyle Loach, he did a nice job.
Yeah.
Went right to the ball, picked up bare hand throw, and then set himself to make a strong throw. But you can see Wigginton out of the box thinking, maybe I got a chance here.
Just the second time in the game the Rockies have had the leadoff hitter on. Here's Spilborghs. He grounded to the right side his first time. That's a strike.
Oh, it's frustrating. Kyle Loach in the back of his mind. 0-3, 738 career numbers at Coors Field. So now he comes in and makes the pitch he wants to make. A ball gets tapped. Now take advantage of it.
0-2. Rockies have 2 doubles in the game, George. A Wigginton double and Iannetta double. And now Wigginton's swinging bunt. Yesterday, Spilborghs and Iannetta went off, hitting 7th and 8th in the lineup. They drove in 10. The last time that happened in Major League Baseball, it also happened at Coors Field. And I remember the day well. James Loney was a rookie, drove in 9. Wilson Betterman threw an RBI out there. He went.
Well, the young umpire behind the plate, Vic Carapazza, he got Albert Pujols earlier without checking, and now he gets Ryan Spilborghs without checking with a runner at first base.
And you know what? That one, I don't think he went. And usually, if it's anywhere close, you'll point down to the corner umpire who's on the open side. In this case, obviously, it would have been Mark Ripperger, first base umpire. Here's Iannetta outside. Lowe said, hey, I'm not going to feed him a first pitch fastball. He went away with a slider. Iannetta roped a double. 5 hits in the last 24 hours for Chris.
With Chacin in the on deck circle, Loesch would like to induce the double play here. Have Chacin lead off the 6th. Tell you what, he has had the ability with that changeup to take it and go away and down to right-handed hitters. Same look as the sinker, but this that change has a lot of movement to it.
We're in the 5th inning, and that's just the 12th pitch he's thrown that's not a strike.
Amazing, isn't it? And if you're wondering, Benji Molina in his career had thrown out 43% of would-be base stealers. This year, that's down to 32%. Still a good number.
Yeah, still a very good number. Wigginton's not going anywhere. 3-run deficit. Wigginton not a base stealer. You know, Loesch controls the running game very well. Only 1 attempted steal against Loesch this year. 3-1. Now 3-2 count. Big Sunday afternoon crowd on Memorial Day weekend. Rockies trying to take 2 of 3 from St. Louis. They have not won a series of 3 games since mid-April. Ball 4. And the first walk allowed in the game. Iannetta, he's been doing that all season long. He pushes Wigginton to second with 1 out.
It doesn't surprise me at all with Chacin coming up. If you're not going to get him, one of the hottest hitters in Iannetta. Purchase a 20-game mini plan. Select the games you want. That's right. We're not going to select them. You do that. And these packages offer just tremendous savings. 303 Rockies to reserve your 20-game mini plan.
Strike on Chacin. Eric Young Jr. on deck. One and one. Jim Tracy earlier today with the media was joking. He was thoroughly impressed with Juan Nicasio's debut performance yesterday. He said about the only thing he didn't do well, and we got to work on it, is get a bunt down.
Yeah, that wasn't very pretty yesterday, and he was 0 for 3 with 3 punch outs started out, and he finally hit a ball. Hit it right at second base, but he did hit the baseball.
Chacin normally does get the bunts down. He didn't offer it that. It was in there, so it's 1 and 2.
Average speed out at second in Wigington, and then also Iannetta at first base. So now there's a couple of options to take here if you're the Cardinals. An athletic pitcher on the mound, but with 2 strikes now, will Chacin still be asked to put the bunt down? I think so. Shows bunt early.
Slug bunt is on, and this isn't going to turn out well.
It does.
Well, it turned out okay because Chacin got up the line. The feed from Loesch was a little bit behind Theriot at shortstop, and probably that little difference, George, allowed Chacin to get to first, so it's first and third for Ewok.
Well, softly hit out to Loesch to begin with, so now it's all about footwork, making sure you get everything done. He's got to come off into the grass to get it. High throw off to the shortstop side. The Theriot does not complete the double play ball. So an infield single, a rolling bunt single by Wigington, and then the walk, fielder's choice. You got first and third and 2 outs, but again, that's what you did not want to have the opportunity to have happen as a double play ball.
One strike count on Ewok. Sack fly his last time up. And he dropped that breaking ball in the outside corner. It's 0-2. Forward strike zone indicating that pitch was a little wide, but Carapazzo indicates it's a strike. 2 strikes. And he goes right after him, and with runners at first and third, he strikes out Ewok Jr. 5 strikeouts for Loesch. 4-1. Inning in the 5th inning for Yoli Chacin. He gets a strikeout of Ryan Theriot on a good slider, and easy play as John Jay just topped it up the first base line, and then it gets the great Albert Pujols, fly ball to center field. That's brought to you by Excel Energy. Learn about energy efficiency and how to save energy and money in your home by visiting responsiblebynature.com. Lance Berkman will begin things in the 6th inning for the Cardinals. They lead it 4-1. Again, they got 3 in the first. Terrio a single, a 2-run home run from John Jay. And then after Pujols struck out, a walk to Berkman, another strikeout, Alan Craig, a Rasmus single, a Molina single. And the Cardinals had that 3-0 start. Rockies have done next to nothing against Kyle Loesch a day after scoring 15 runs. Berkman fouls off the first pitch. He's had 2 walks in the ball game. It's our Toyota Talk inning. Checking National League leaders. Opponent batting average against. Josh Johnson right now disabled. League hitting just 185 against him. Then Loesch and Chacin third. You see Sanchez and Lincecum, 2 Giants on that list also. Here's the 0-2. 1-2. Watching the game from Baton Rouge, but not rooting for Terrio. Well, hopefully Junior, George, and Dexter up top can create a dynamic that allows the Rockies to score some runs, manufacture some runs when they're not swinging the bats exceptionally well. Get the out at first. Helton. A nice catch there. So a strikeout of Berkman.
Well, that you know, watching what has transpired with this team and watching Chacin and what he's done, and we're talking about hitting, but yesterday Jim said in his meeting, speaking with Jim Tracy, I want a little spark plug. I'm tired of hitting on 5 or 6 cylinders. I want to hit on 8. I want to hit on all 8 hitters at one time, and he'd hoped, you know, by putting EY at the top and having Fowler right behind him, that, and it paid off early yesterday. Base hit EY, steals the base. He was 7 of 18 in AAA. He steals the base early in the ball game, and all of a sudden they walk Fowler. Now all of a sudden you're dealing with a little bit different situation, because now Cargo's dealing with guys on base all the time, and then it's Tulowitzki's turn, and then it's base hit, and the Rockies just, man, immediately threw a 6 spot up on the board.
Base hit by Craig will bring up Colby Rasmus, who has a single and a home run so far this afternoon. He's talking to Ryan Spilborghs about that subject. And here's Tyler Green into the ball game for Alan Craig, and again with the lead, 6th inning. This is what Tony La Russa does. He's gonna move over now to the defensive side of things. And he'll put in Green, who's by trade an infielder, versus Craig, who's played in a lot of different spots, more of an outfielder. But Ryan Spilborghs was saying earlier today that having EY Jr. up there, you know, more innings, you're going to have some traffic for Gonzalez and Tulowitzki, hopefully, and therefore they don't come up with the bases empty and feel like, well, the only thing productive I can do is maybe hit it over the wall, and then you get too big with your swing. Got traffic, there's a lot of options. You know, you can hit a sac fly and feel like you had a good at bat. Put the ball right back up the middle, a base hit, feel like you had a good at bat. When the team's scuffling, those guys in the middle are going to put a lot of pressure on themselves.
I think everybody does. I really do. I mean, 2/3 of that puzzle's been solved pretty much for the Rockies. The pitching and the fielding's been very, very good. The bullpen's been good. You know, some people complaining about Houston Street and the home runs. I understand. 7 and 25 innings, 25 1/3 is way too many. But yet he is 3rd in the National League in saves with 14. Sanchez Nunez has just gone off the charts with it, with 18 with the Florida Marlins.
It's a high fly ball down the right field line, and it is foul. Yeah, here's been the problem for the Rockies. You thought they were about to really roll George offensively. First game of that doubleheader against Arizona, 14 hits, 12 runs. The next game, 2 runs. The day after, a run, then 3, and then you get 15. But here we are in the 6th inning, and the Rockies have a run on 3 hits.
2 and 4 is not going to get you at the first place in a hurry. You got to get consistent with all aspects of the ball game.
1-2 on Colby Rasmus, a former #1 pick of the St. Louis Cardinals. slowly hit the first. Todd's going to have one play, and that's to get Rasmus. 2 outs, and Green moves to second. On the fielder's choice, that'll bring up Yadier Molina, 1 for 2, a RBI single in the first.
Well, that base hit given up to Craig, just the second given up by Chassin since the first inning, where he gave up 4.
Problem is he's had 2 leave the ballpark.
Well, that's the unfortunate part of pitching. Yeah, I mean, he made a couple of mistakes in this ball club, which hitting over 300 out on the road. Speaking of the Cardinals, that they obviously can score some runs in a game, and they can do it quickly.
Side ball 1 on Molina. One and one. Chassin at 106 pitches.
I was looking at the lineup thinking you might be able to squeeze him out one more inning, and then you look at that pitch count and you start to wonder if it gets up to 115, 120. He's not due up for a while. As a matter of fact, 8 batters away before you get to the pitcher spot. It kind of depends on how this at bat goes with Molina, and hopefully not Descalso, but that could happen. Or 14 pitches, the most thrown. That was in a start against Chicago in a 9-inning ball game.
One and 2 on Molina. That's blocked by Chris Iannetta.
It's all about being athletic behind the plate, anticipating a pitch. Thought that ball was going to be up, bounced, took it off the chest protector.
Tough job. Physically demanding job.
Looks like very few guys are two-way guys, offensive and defensive guys, because of the workload and what goes on behind the home plate area.
2-2, pulled foul. Molina's one of those guys, George, that carries a big workload. Last year he appeared 136 games. That's quite a bit for a catcher. 142 years ago. In the air to left center field. Cargo will glide over and make the catch. That puts the inning down. Tyler Green running for Alan Craig, left at second base. Middle of 6, 4-1 St. Louis. We honor all of our servicemen and women today around the world. Memorial Day weekend. And a great flyover to start the day. And a big crowd at Coors Field. Thank you, thank you, thank you again to all the men and women who serve now and have served through the course of U.S. history. Brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Drew Goodman, George Frazier, and Mark Stout. Rockies have the 2-hole up. Dexter Fowler, then Cargo and Tulowitzki. Hopefully many more to follow.
Yeah, this is an inning you got to get after him. I mean, this is, I know he hadn't thrown hardly any pitches. That's just his 56th pitch of the ball game. You're in that part of the lineup that's got to produce some heat.
That's amazing. I mean, he just did every pitch, George, all 4 pitches.
It's the rhythm of the game, Drew. If you watch him on the mound, for me, I mean, he just grabs and gets ready to throw. He's keeping everything he has in rhythm. He's keeping his delivery, repeating it. There's not a whole lot going on with Kyle Lohse right now. He just gets on the hill and says, here we go.
43 strikes, 15 balls. Amazing. Here's the 0-2. Dexter a strikeout and a ground ball to second. Matt Reynolds is up and throwing for the Rockies. Chacin at 110 pitches. Matt Belisle is getting ready to throw also. This will be an easy play on the right side for Tyler Green. Again, Carlos Gonzalez will come up with nobody on base. With 2 tickets to Kid Rock, Sheryl Crow, and the rodeo at Cheyenne Frontier Days. Text ROCK followed by a space and your name to 720-720.
So are you a big Kid Rock guy?
I like Kid Rock.
What's your favorite song that he sings?
All summer long. So you got me.
I have to admit, I haven't heard a lot of Kid Rock songs.
Yeah, on the radio side, George, that's my, that's my, if I had a walk-up song, that'd be it.
Kid Rock?
Yeah, all summer long. Works for baseball. 0-1 on Cargo. Fly ball center field and a ground ball to Pujols. 1 ball, 1 strike. Rockies just 2-4 on this homestand. Game under 500 overall, game under 500 at home. Change-ups pulled foul. Swung on and missed. Strikeout for Lohse, his 6th of the ball game. As we check in with Mark Stout.
Hey, Drew and George, I want to introduce everybody to Debbie Janos. She's here with the Veterans Administration from Cheyenne. And tell everybody what you do with these awesome Americans behind you.
I do recreation therapy assistant. I plan all the activities in the community and in our community living center and try to make these guys have a good day at our Veterans Administration.
Well, because of that, we have some Cheyenne Frontier Days tickets for you, courtesy of the Cowboy, Tracy Ringlesby, and Root Sports. And thank you to we got a Purple Heart guy back here, fellas, that's 90 years old, and they are enjoying the ball game today.
That is awesome. That was an awesome pickup at third by Descalso. That's the 2nd time Tulowitzki has hit the ball as hard as you can hit it, and he's got nothing to show for it. Just look back. St. Louis in the first inning, base hit from Ryan Theriot, and then John Jay followed with a home run to right just over the hand-operated scoreboard. 2-0 quickly, and then later in the inning, a couple more at reach. Yadier Molina singles up the middle. 3-0 St. Louis. In the fourth inning, Colby Rasmus with a home run. Rocky's only run came on an Ionetta double. He was sacrificed to third, and Eric Young Jr. brought him around on a fly ball to deep enough left field. Matt Reynolds will take over for Chacin. Chacin goes 6 innings, allows 4 runs on 6 hits. 4 of the hits came in the first inning. He walked 2, struck out 7. Daniel Descalso at the plate.
Matt Reynolds been outstanding for the Colorado Rockies, particularly of what he's done against left-handers this year. The opponent, $174. Coming out of the bullpen, 87% first batter efficiency. That really cuts down on a manager's ability, and you get into this 7, 8, 9 inning situation of being able to do some things as a manager. And yesterday, Jim Tracy said to me, he said, I love it when the games are tight and I'm going against Tony La Russa, because I think he is the best manager in baseball, and he has learned so much from him in the chess game of trying to get the right guy against him coming out of the bullpen. Of course, his bench, all the difference that Tracy has done with them.
Tony, 16 years now at the helm of the Cardinals. That's the longest run in major professional sports. Man in charge. That's a strike on Kyle Loesch. Time for today's Quest high speed pitch, brought to you by the new Quest 5-year price lock promise. Visit quest.com/promise for details. 95 for Chacin. Loesch, not about the MPH. His location and his command of all 4 pitches today has been terrific. Here's the 1-1 from Matt Reynolds, fouled off. 1-2.
Loesch hurt himself on that swing. I mean,
yeah, he acted like it. He was touching his left shoulder. No, he was touching his left shoulder. Loesch is a good athlete. He was a football, basketball, and obviously baseball player in high school. Gone here, 2 outs.
Hey, Drew, guess what's coming up? Cargo's bobblehead. That's right, June 10th, first 10,000 when the Dodgers are in town will receive a Carlos Gonzalez bobblehead courtesy of Pro Build.
Cargo hitting .321 his last 16 games. He's coming on. He's had a productive May. The Riot takes strike 1. Came in a winter trade with the Los Angeles Dodgers for Blake Hawksworth. 2-strike count.
Hawksworth got hurt early with the Dodgers, didn't he?
Believe so. 1-2. Trying to think, George, since Ozzie Smith went off into retirement and eventually the Hall of Fame, that's been a position they've always been searching for.
Yeah, there's a lot of thought going in right now that they're going to go after Jose Reyes with the New York Mets, talking with an awful lot of the people in the Cardinal organization, and see if they could not sign him long term. He's a free agent at the end of the year. They think that's the one missing thing. Theriot's had a nice year with the bat, but struggled with the glove.
Good inning for Mark Reynolds as he gets Theriot there. We're going to stick around for a moment. 7th inning stretch, a rendition on this Memorial Day weekend of God Bless America, performed by Yeoman Second Class Mark Stallings. Enjoy, everybody.
Please rise as we honor our great country by the performance of God Bless America. Performing God Bless America today, representing the United States Navy Reserve Support Center, is Yeoman Second Class Mark Stallings. Please welcome Yeoman Stallings and join him by singing along to God Bless America.
Not surprisingly, strike one. That's all Loesch's done today. He has really pounded the strike zone. 0-1 on Helton, leading off in the 7th. 1-1. Todd, great career numbers against Loesch, but today a strikeout and a ground ball to second. Rockies have just 3 hits.
Well, covering 70 pitches. That's the amazing thing for me, the way he's been able to handle this lineup, regardless of their struggles. 6-2 overall record, a 202 earned run average now as he works here to the 7th.
Todd hits it high and deep to center field, way back and off the base of the wall. Colby Rasmus acted as if that thing was long gone. That's a really interesting, I don't want to say route, but just how he went about it. It would have been a double anyhow.
You know what? I'm going to be pretty honest here. I thought he should have gone back to the wall. If it hits the wall, it falls off. But he coasted after the baseball, just like you said, as if it was out of the ballpark, versus taking a dead sprint back at the ball here. Sees the jog's on right here, thinking that ball's out of the park and hits dead on the wall. You know, this is a guy that typically plays center field very effectively. One of the mistakes he's made again of a ball up in the zone. He did it to Wigington, Iannetta, and then now to Todd Helton. He made him pay for it.
Wigington takes a strike. Wigginton a double and an infield single. He's got 2 of the Rockies' 4 hits. 1-1. Little piece of the paper today. Ty Wigginton saying, you know what, I'm going to get it going. It's a guy who's got a lot of confidence offensively, and well, he should. He's hit 20+ home runs in 4 of his last 5 years. Playing every day now at third. 2-1.
Well, that's the key. For him to put up the numbers that you look for, and that's 20+ and 70 RBIs, he's got to be in the lineup to do that. I don't think Ty Wigginton is a 2-time-a-week player, right-handed pinch hitter. I think he's a 5-day-a-week player if you want to see those kind of numbers from Ty Wigginton.
And 3-1. This is the first at bat the entire game, Frage, that Loesch has kind of nibbled.
Well, first time or second time I think of, he had a 3-ball count. He nibbled on Chris Iannetta in his second at bat after he hit that double with Chacin behind him. That was back in the 5th inning.
This ball driven to left center field. It'll get down. Helton's going to get a green light. Jay's going to throw into second to keep the double play in order. And the Rockies are within 2. Ty Wigginton 3 for 3. He drives in his 14th run of the year. 4-2. St. Louis.
I would suspect that the Cardinals would get their bullpen going. Yesterday, Wigginton, difficult time with a down and in fastball. This time, man, he really cleared that front side beautifully with his lower half. Got the head of the bat through the baseball, dumped it into left, and Helton reads it as a knock and is headed to the plate to score to make it a 4-2 ball game. Spilworks has grounded out to first baseman Albert Pujols and then struck out on a check swing, which was questionable in his last at bat. They threw everything away from him, which if they do it again, I think they're playing right into Ryan Spilborg's hands because of his power and ability to go to right center.
Two
sliders in a row, one at 80, that at 83. See if he gets on top of this next slider that when he goes for the punch out, or if he goes an opposite direction. See how high up he got on to create more of a down break than a side break. He's living about where he wants to, and that's down and away in that lower corner away from Spilborg's.
2-2. And a base hit to left. So now the tying run is on with nobody out in the 7th. And Chris Iannetta, the hottest Rocky the last couple of days, is at the plate.
A double earlier, a walk, now first and second. And you like what you're seeing so far. The run scored, another slider. But this slider, the wrist worked under, so it stayed up into the zone, and Spilborg ran it right out of the hands and is able to drive that ball into left field. Buying a little bit time for the bullpen now is what Tony La Russa is doing with Molina going to the mound.
Now the Rockies have Smith on deck.
Now Tony La Russa is going to make a move here. Sanchez is a hard throwing right-hander with a nasty slider.
It's one of those deals maybe, George, where as well as Loesch has pitched, he's going to ensure that the worst he gets is an ND.
Well, he wants to have two as the quickest coming in out of this thing. You got a guy with a power slider that can punch out some people is what he's trying to do.
lottery. Don't forget to buy your bonus millionaire raffle tickets before the last bonus drawing on June 12th. 7th inning for the Rockies. It began with Todd Helton driving the ball 420 feet center field. A double for Todd, and it was followed up by Ty Wigginton's run-scoring single. And behind that, on a 2-2 pitch, Ryan Spilborghs would single. First and second, nobody out, 3 straight knocks. Kyle Loesch gets the gate, and in comes Eduardo Sanchez.
Yeah, the hard-throwing right-hander has a lot of strikeouts, 26 strikeouts in 20 innings. He's only given up 11 hits and 1 home run, and that's why Tony elected to bring him in here with men on base. He's inherited 3 base runners, and only 1 has scored, only 1 home run given up. That's to right-handed hitters, where they've hit 175 against him. Not a big guy, 5'11", 170 pounds.
Wigginton at second. He's 3 for 3 today. Spilborghs behind in the count, 0-2. Got it level and then lined a single over the shortstop's head. Ryan Theriot. Iannetta, a double and a walk. 6 RBIs yesterday.
Sanchez has been groomed as a reliever throughout his entire career. Prior to this year at the minor league level, 172 appearances and only 7 games started.
And Seth Smith on deck. Two and 0. And now for Chris Iannetta, George, you can eliminate pitches and just look in a location. If it shows up there, you fire. If not, you let it go.
Well, 12 walks for Sanchez. The one thing he did when he came in the game is yesterday, hard sliders. And he's got one that he throws for a strike and then a swing and miss. He tried it on the first pitch and then went to the fastball and missed.
Here's the 2-0. Well, he reared back and threw 94 past Iannetta. And it's 2-1.
A little difference. Kyle Loesch in the ball game topped out at 91, pitched 89-90, and all of a sudden you see a flash of 94. Things have to quicken up a little bit.
Off the mask of Molina. It's 2-2.
Well, I don't know if you ever been hit by Muhammad Ali, but this is kind of what I would think it would feel like. Just kind of ricocheted. Got him pretty good. Of course, he used that hockey helmet designed by Charlie O'Brien, a former catcher at the big league level.
2-2 on Iannetta. Nobody out. Wigginton at second. Spilborghs at first. 4-2 St. Louis. Outfield bunching the gaps in left center and right center. Slider away. 3-2. One of the most selective hitters in baseball, Chris Iannetta. "28 walks. It's among the top 8 in the National League. And he stayed back there, George. He went
Frisbee.
Yeah, he went with a breaking ball there, and he's lucky that Chris didn't hit that up on the concourse.
Yeah, no question. A hanger, and maybe just caught everybody by surprise a little bit. Coming right out of his hands. He worked underneath that slider so it spins up. 78 miles an hour.
Down low, ball 4. Boy, Iannetta, the guts of a burglar to take that. Borderline pitch, but they're loaded up now for Jason Giambi. Jim Tracy called Smith back. He's going to play the Giambino card right here. He did it the other day in the 7th inning. And he's going to do it right here.
Just because Giambi is your power hitter, you think in one swing wins the game, doesn't mean it has to be in the 9th inning. He'll take his shot to win a ball game, whether from the 7th inning on with Giambi, and that's what he's doing right here. You may not have another opportunity to win the game with Giambi's swing.
And Jason had a conversation in the last week with Jim Tracy about that. And he is good with this. He says, hey, if it's the 7th inning and this is the best opportunity to score, because Trace knows I'll be ready to go.
He's hit 100 as a pinch hitter this year, just 1 RBI, 1 for 10.
But you know how well he's locked in. 5 home runs in the last 9 days. Bases loaded, nobody out. Outside, ball 1. And the thing that Giambi knows better than just about anybody, George, is all the pressures on that guy, the kid out at the hill.
Absolutely, to throw a strike to him, pick your pitch that you can drive and do the most damage with. No one else warming in the Cardinal bullpen.
He got a fastball and he swung through it. It's 1-1.
92 miles an hour, but it had rise to it as it came into the plate area.
Berkman very deep in right. There is no shift on in the infield. They're playing it pretty much straight up. Unusual with Giambi at the plate. You got a pitch there, George. Fouled it back. That was in his wheelhouse.
Once again, another very good fastball that's down a little bit into the zone, and Giambi just got quick and worked under it.
Crowd of 40,598 ready to erupt if Giambi can come through. It's 4-2 in the 7th. The Cardinals buy a pair.
Sure did. Got him fooled with a big curveball at 79 miles an hour after seeing a diet of fastballs. And Giambi, who really wants to be that guy when the game's on the line, comes up empty here. Now let's look at how they attack Jason Giambi in this at-bat. Hard sinker away. 92 rising fastball by Giambi, and then he got the pitch that probably would have done the most damage. Center cut fastball fouled off, and then there's the hard breaking ball on the back foot of a left-handed hitter.
Giambi coming into that at bat, 13 for 25 in his career against the Cardinals. Here's Ewok.
There is history between EY and Sanchez, but it's all at the minor league level. Sanchez made the trips to Memphis, their AAA team, the last couple of years.
0 for 2 and a sac fly for EY. He has struck out twice in the game. Got to get it in play here. Dialed up 96. 1 ball, 1 strike. I understand we've had a bunch of technical issues today. We apologize for those. It's 4-2 St. Louis in the 7th. The Rockies have the bases loaded, a run already in. There's 1 out, and Eric Young Jr. at the plate against Eduardo Sanchez. This ball line caught, double play. Wow. And St. Louis dances out of a bases loaded, nobody out situation. Yeah, Eric Young Jr. hit it on the button, but right at Tyler Green. E470, find E470 on Facebook for details on how to win free tolls. It's off to Tinseltown. The Rockies will take on the Dodgers tomorrow, Tuesday night, Wednesday night as well. Thursday, day off in the city by the bay, and then they'll resume action against the Giants Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then it's on to San Diego if we continued with the calendar. Let's take a look at the Dodgers. They've been struggling. They're 7 games under 500. They're 3 under 500 at Dodger Stadium.
They got a whole lot going on out there at their ballpark other than baseball, and I think that as much as players, managers, and general managers want to disagree with me, I think it has had an effect on their ability to play sound baseball.
The Rockies got a run last inning, but they were set up to get even in this ball game. Bases loaded, nobody out. Giambi strikes out, and then Eric Young Jr. hit a bullet, but right at the second baseman. And he was able to double off Ryan Spilborghs. The Rockies, George, now are 8 for 38 this year, a .211 average with the bases full.
Now that's got to change. It has to, because as you mentioned, 38 opportunities. Matt Lindstrom, hard throwing Matt Lindstrom on the hill.
John Jay is retired by Tulowitzki. Lindstrom's had an outstanding first couple of months in a Rockies uniform. And with one out, Albert Pujols will take his turn.
Well, been really special. 21 in the third innings, the opposition average, everything good. He's came up with a couple of saves and save opportunities.
So Kyle Loesch goes 6+. The last 2 runs on 6 hits. 3 of the hits came in that 7th inning. 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. That pitch in there to Albert. You know, Pujols right now, his average has dipped to 259. You know, at the end of the year, he's going to be above 300. And if those of you are looking and saying, boy, it seems like Albert's swinging and missing more. Actually not. He's making contact on 88% of his swings. The major league average is right around 81%. Albert in his career is at 86%. So he's above his career average. Just tells me that there's damage that's right down the road about to be inflicted by this guy. 4-2 St. Louis. 1 out. Here's the 1-2. Again, it's a slider. 2-2. After today, the Cardinals are done with all their road series against the NL West. Rockies will head to St. Louis in mid-August and play 3 ball games. 2-2. Center field on a line. Dexter dropped the baseball. Must have been knuckling. And Albert is going to dig for 2. Here's the throw. Not in time.
Yeah, I'll assure you that ball was squared because it had the sound of a ball that was going to travel a long ways, but instead was aligned right at Dexter Fowler. And from our angle, you can really see this ball start to move left to right. And for Dexter, I mean, that ball just shot to the right of his glove right as he went to go get it. And Albert Pujols recognized what was going to happen, so Pujols makes that move into second base. Here's it is. He makes the turn cut very close to the bag and then slides on the infield side to get a 1-out double.
It's not a double, it's an error.
Excuse me, an error on Dexter Fowler.
3rd on Dexter this year. So with 1 out, Berkman will come up. A couple of walks and a strikeout.
Makes sense. Set up the double play. Tyler Green in the on-deck circle. Then you got Colby Rasmus, but you're hoping Green's the guy you get rid of.
No, it's not going to be Tyler Green. It'll be Skip Schumacher. Tony always takes the temperature of a game. Despite being up by 2 runs with 6 outs to go on defense, he's going to take Tyler Green, his defensive guy, out, and he's going to say, you know what, we're going to try to add on right here. Green, who would come into the ball game for Alan Craig, he's gone now, and it'll be Schumacher pinch hitting.
Well, he understands what can happen at Coors Field, and he'd rather go left because he also knows Jim Tracy's Bernie's only left-handed. But if you look at the numbers between Lindstrom, Belisle, and Betancourt, left-handers have hit barely .220 combined. So that part really doesn't matter.
Wells Fargo customers, get your 2-for-1 Rockies tickets today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC. 2 on, 1 out. Pujols at second, Berkman at first. So it's not exactly a 4x4 track team out there, as this one's fouled off by Schumacher.
Left-handers against Lindstrom right now are 7 for 28 with a home run. They've struck out 4.
Schumacher hitting just .217 against righties. Shattered bat and a looper to Tulowitzki. Infield fly rule was put in effect, so Troy couldn't just drop that one and turn it into a double play. 2 gone, and that'll bring up Colby Rasmus, who has swung the bat very well today and well in the series, especially considering he was 0 for 20 entering the contest on Friday. He's got 6 hits over the weekend. Reminder, more Toyota talk in the Toyota postgame show today. Get those comments in. Single and a home run in 3 trips today for Rasmus. And that's off of Lindstrom. He's going to recover and throw out Colby Rasmus, and he jogs off like, hey, no big deal. So Lindstrom works out of it. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th inning. The Cardinals up 4-2. The region's Touchstone Energy Cooperatives. Carlos Gonzalez, another wonderful catch. He's made a bunch of those this year. Todd Helt, 3 gold gloves in his closet, fires a strike to the plate. And Ryan Spilborghs cuts down Daniel Descalso on a perfect one-hop throw. The local electric cooperative delivering reliable power, energy-saving tools, and more. Visit togetherwesave.com. Our Xfinity game summary. The Cards got 3 in the first off Yolis Chassin. He's on the south side right now. Kyle Loesch was terrific. Ran into a little bit of trouble in the 7th inning. But the Cardinals, Eduardo Sanchez wiggled out of a bases loaded, nobody out situation when it looked like the Rockies may tie up the score at the very least. So now in the 8th inning, it'll be Dexter Fowler. And still on the hill is Eduardo Sanchez.
Well, today, Kyle Loesch worked the hard slider down and in on Dexter Fowler. Struck him out in the first and a couple of ground balls in the 3rd and then in the 6th.
Two and one. And Dexter pulls it to Pujols.
I tell you, Pujols went to his knees early. That ball, that became a hockey goalie in a heartbeat. It was not going to get through him.
Left fielder, number 5.
Well, gear up for the season at your local Rockies dugout store, the place for all things Rockies. And again, that's one of the best places to go to figure it all out at the dugout stores. You can go to 303-832-TEAM for a location near you.
Carlos Gonzalez, 8-game hitting streak, 0 for 3 this afternoon. And now he's got a 9-gamer, and the tying run will come up in Tulowitzki. Troy this afternoon is 0 for 3. He hit a line drive to deep left. John Jay made a wonderful catch. A little comebacker, and then a rocket one-hopper to 3rd that Descalso came up with. So he's hit it hard twice.
Now Miller, the left-hander, is going for Tony La Russa, that typically pitch in this situation. 7th, 8th inning with a tough lefty, and that tough lefty's Todd Helton in the on-deck circle.
On the corner. Troy, a couple of hits in yesterday's contest. Drove in a run, scored a couple. One ball, one strike. Tulowitzki's last home run, if you're wondering, May 17th against the Giants. 39 at bats ago.
Molina making sure to understand Sanchez. You want this ball down. Do not elevate a ball on Tulowitzki.
Troy drives it to right center field. It's going to stay in the ballpark. Nearly a collision out there as Berkman made the catch. Now a conversation with the center fielder Colby Rasmus. 2 outs.
Going over, you never see a mouth move, so I don't know who's got it. That's the problem. Maybe an outfield, you got to let everybody know what's going on. When you had close-ups of Lance Berkman, he never did make the move to say, I got it.
Tony not bringing in the lefty here. He's going to have Sanchez. Throw to Helt.
Why get him up?
Yeah, this is a little old-fashioned by Tony in that, now we're in the specialized bullpen age where you throw one inning, sometimes the lefty matching up for just one out. Tony's having a setup guy, George. He's asking him to get 6 outs.
Yeah, he sure is. And again, I mean, Trevor Miller, Helton's 1 for 12, 083 in his career. So that doesn't give you the answer. I'm glad he's doing it. Give the Rockies right versus left up at the plate. See if you can do damage against it. And maybe Miller wasn't ready.
Helton, his last at bat, is 538th career double. Top 30 all time. He looks like a guy that's ready, though.
Yep, just standing out there watching. That's why it seems unusual to me. Right-hander Salas is the closer. He's got 8 saves on the year.
On the corner, 2-2.
Well, Ford says it's outside, so maybe we ought to go have a conversation. What do you think? Take that as a no.
Two inside, 3-2. Trevor Miller hasn't done so well at Coors Field.
Well, they have another one down there. Talon's another left-hander he could run out there if he wanted to.
He didn't do so well yesterday.
No.
He gave up a 2-run home run to Iannetta. 2 outs, 3-2. Gonzalez off with the pitch, and wow. Talk about missing.
Behind his back by about 1.5 feet. Well, you're not
2 on for Wigginton, who's had a big day. He's 3 for 3, a double, and a couple of singles. He's driven in a run. That was a slider that missed by.
Look at Todd. Like, what are you doing, dude?
Ty Wigginton representing the go-ahead run with 2 outs in the 8th. 4-2 St. Louis. The Rockies with 7 hits, the Cardinals 6. And now Yadier Molina wants to discuss things with Eduardo Sanchez. Who Wants Tacos? Fans, if you'd like to receive text message alerts when the Rockies score 7 or more for the Rockies Taco Special, text the keyword taco to 720-720 from our friends at Taco Bell. A reminder to head there this afternoon between 4 and 6. We're about 30 minutes away. The Rockies Taco Special by way of the Rockies' 15-run explosion yesterday. And Wigginton calling time. Defensively, I've seen Tony La Russa do this quite a bit. Yeah. John Jay is over in left center field. Now Tony's going to make a move here.
He's probably going to bring in his closer, Salas. Yesterday, Franklin no longer the closer, but Salas, the right-hander, warming up down there. They come out and have him go an inning and a third and try to get this thing shut down.
Yeah, it's interesting. You're asking a guy to get 4 outs, which is not at all unusual in baseball. But this kid was pitching in minor leagues until very recently. He's done a nice job closing, but Ryan Franklin was that guy first part of the year. He didn't do well. So not only now you're having Salas come in, you're saying, hey, listen, kid, go get 4 outs. I'll tell you about all the changes in a moment. Cardinals up 4-2, 2 on for the Rockies, 2 outs in the 8th. Metro Denver entered the Denver Dream House raffle to have a chance to win a $1.2 million Washington Park Dream House or $1 million in cash. Plus, there are more than 320 prizes, including a shot at a Toyota Prius and European and Hawaiian vacations when you buy 2 or more tickets. The deadline is approaching. It's on June 3rd, so visit milehighraffle.com to enter today. That's milehighraffle.com. So Salas is in the ball game. Fernando Salas, the 25-year-old closer for St. Louis, and the first pitch, a check swing strike by Ty Wigginton. Gonzalez is at second, Helton at first. Gonzalez a single, Helton a walk. The numbers on Salas this year since being recalled from Memphis on April 13th.
Very good numbers, 8 for 8 and save opportunities. The opposition just a $187. Hard slider, good fastball. The most saves in a single season in his career, 25. That led Double-A Tulsa, Springfield, excuse me, in 2008. Dealt with injuries, had to go back and make some rehab appearances, but came back and had 19 saves for Memphis a year ago over 34 games.
The Rockies, I thought they may do this. And they've pinch run for Helton because that's a tying run. Herrera. And no matter. Wigginton gone on 3 pitches. So Salas comes in and he ends that 8th inning threat. The Rockies have now left 5 on in the last 2 innings. (4-2) St. Louis. Rockies threats in the 7th and 8th. Unfortunately, they have not been able to get even. Rafael Betancourt will throw the top of the 9th, and we check in with Alana Rizzo for a preview of the Toyota postgame show. Alana.
All right, Drew, thanks very much. The Colorado Rockies are in some serious need of some home improvement. If things stay this way, they're going to be 2-5 here at Coors Field for this homestand. And then Colby Rasmus has been absolutely a nightmare for the Colorado Rockies in this 3-game series. Of course, the Toyota texting continues in the Toyota postgame show, and Mark Stat will bring you some interviews as well, guys.
All right, Alana, thank you. Rafael Betancourt has concluded his warm-up tosses. Yadier Molina will lead things off. And for the Rockies, Jonathan Herrera is now at third. Ty Wigginton crosses the diamond. He is at first for Helton. Yeah, it's kind of a risk you take. And Jim Tracy obviously thought long and hard about it with 2 outs, pulling Helton out of the game, getting a guy who can score if you get an extra base hit from first and tie up the game in Herrera. Of course, if the Rockies can put something together in the 9th inning, Helton's spot may or may not come up again. So Herrera's at third, Wigginton at first, Molina to face Betancourt here with the Cardinals ahead 4-2.
Good job there by Betancourt. Good heater down and away at 93 miles an hour. A little bit of a high earned run average at times for Betancourt because of a couple of ball games where he got beat up. 3 home runs and 21 innings given up. Strikeouts are there, and oh yeah, he does pound the zone. Just 4 walks.
One and two. Molina's been an all-star each of the last 2 years. He's killing it at the all-star game. Hitting .667 in the Midsummer Classic, 2 for 3.
He's a guy that, you know, you look at all the Molina brothers and everything that's gone on from Benji and then Yadier, and they, you know, 3 of them at the big league level. It's exciting, obviously, for the family, but he may be the best one of all of them. And the others have won Gold Gloves. The others have been to All-Star games. The others have been to World Series. Last year, Benji with the Texas Rangers.
Jose, of course, the 3rd Molina brother. Here's the 2-2. Swung on and missed. And Betancourt strikes out Yadier. That'll bring up Descalso. Time for the Coors Light Cold Hard Blast. St. Louis got a 2-run home run in the first from John Jay off Jhoulys Chacín. And then Colby Rasmus will take a high fastball and hit one over the wall as well. 4th on the year for Rasmus, 4th on the year for Jay. Descalso is 0 for 3. Pete Kozma's on deck. Kozma playing second base, George. I don't know if I've seen this. Probably have, but it's been a while. 4 second basemen now utilized defensively by Tony La Russa in the game.
Well, when he pinch hits, about 8 outfielders cringe because they may go to 3rd, they may go to 2nd, they may not. Hey, wait, I'm a right fielder. Well, today you're going to play 2nd.
Well, that's almost a position for Tony. He's like, hey, you can figure it out. Knock it down, beat it in the ground. You got time on the right side. Because think about it. Schumacher, who played there briefly, was an outfielder. The guy who started there, Alan Craig, an outfielder.
Green, an outfielder.
Green, an outfielder. Kozma was a shortstop his whole life, but that, you know, that's more of a natural transition.
It is for Pete. And some people look at Pete as that's what they think he'll end up being as a utility guy. Somebody plays 2nd, short, 3rd.
Good pitch by Betancourt. Descalso really late on a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. So 2 strikeouts by Rafael, and that'll bring up the youngster Pete Kozma, another former #1 pick. Rockies in the bottom half of the 9th will have Spilborghs, Iannetta, and then in all likelihood it'll be Seth Smith.
Kozma's one hit was a double in his major league debut. It drove in a run. Last night faced Houston Street. Street struck him out. Hard slider down and away.
Speaking of guys getting opportunities at second for the 2nd time this year, Jose Morales got some time at second late in the ball game, made another sparkling play.
Yeah, man, nice play yesterday, just like he did the other time when he had kind of glove flipped a guy. Yesterday makes a nice play at second.
Ball and a strike on Kozma. Congratulations to Regis High School. They won the 5A state championship. Our old friend Walt Weiss on that coaching staff, and his son Brody, who's a terrific shortstop, a sophomore, 4 hits yesterday. Two balls and a strike. Took out that powerhouse Cherry Creek Bruin team of Mark Johnson. Mark's won so many state titles. Great run for Cherokee Trail as well. 2 balls and a strike. And this is popped up right side, and Wigginton at foul ground will have a play. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th inning. The Rockies need to rally. They trail 4-2. Spielborg, Zionetta, and then Smith probably. In Denver, where you can make the world your workplace. Rockies fell behind early. Chassin gave up a 3 spot in the first, and not much offense today for the Rockies. They had opportunities in the 7th and 8th. Wigginton is 3 for 4. Well, he punched out, unfortunately, with 2 on last inning. It was Military Appreciation Day, Memorial Day weekend, kicking off the summer officially. We had a great flyby from an Air Force crew from state of Oklahoma, George.
Yeah, they made a wrong turn, headed towards Colorado, and had to head on back. Now, actually, they came out in the 7th inning, took a nice ovation on top of the visitors' dugout. That was great to see. If Kyle Loesch is able to hang on to this win today with his teammates with the Cardinals, he will tie Cole Hamels and Kevin Correa with 7 wins to lead the National League.
Spielborg takes inside. It's 2-0.
I don't think you would have thought back in January that Kevin Correa would be 7 wins at this point with the Pittsburgh Pirates.
I don't know if you would pick Kyle Loesch to have the possibility of 7 wins right now.
Ooh, hard sinker in there.
2-1.
There that is. It's framed up by Molina. That's what got it. Well, Salas has gone 4 times, gone more than 1 inning to get a save. So this is not something that's new territory to him.
3-1. Fernando Salas will turn 26 tomorrow. Now the Rockies have the most comeback wins in the National League with 16. They don't have a walk-off win yet this year. Ball 4. That's how you want to start the 9th inning, down by 2. And the tying run will come up in Chris Iannetta. A near perfect day yesterday with 4 hits and 6 ribbies. And today, a double and 2 walks. He scored one of the Rockies' 2 runs. For the moment, Chris Nelson on deck. That's a strike. Windshield damage, Safelite Auto Glass with folks to call. 303-287-5000, safelight.com. Nelson just called back to the big leagues today. Alfredo Amezaga was designated for assignment. Now, if nobody picks him up, Alfredo will go back to Colorado Springs. Chris hitting .315 down in the Springs this year. 1-2.
I would anticipate a slider here. I just feel like he's not comfortable throwing the fastball for strikes, and I could be totally long, but he started him out with a hard slider down and away.
Well, that's a call. Strike 3, kind of a delayed call by Vic Carapazza. And you see Chris Ionetta's reaction. That is the first out in the 9th inning, and Seth Smith now will replace Chris Nelson in the on-deck circle, and he'll come up.
Slider, hard slider that, it appears to grab the bottom of the 4th strike zone. It just seemed it was received very low by Molina. There it is. I mean, Molina always drops that right knee to the ground when he receives the baseball. So then his strike zone lowers down to where he catches it. Maybe that gets some of those pitches called for a strike.
So Seth Smith, because when he's not hurt, plays virtually every day. You may forget is one of the premier pinch hitters in the game.
Well, that's evident there with those numbers. 5 home runs, 22 RBIs, over a 300 average.
He's always been good late. A clutch performer. 298 average, 7th inning or later this year. Smith represents the tying run. And he fouls this one off. It's going to go out of play. Smith mentioning before the ball game today, he thinks that the groin strain will be okay for him to play in Los Angeles tomorrow. By what he means by play, start. Rockies will face Chad Billingsley, a right-hander. 1-2.
Well, he's showing 3-pitch mix so far. The hard slider to the right-handers. Fastball changeup, the last at 85. Smith is 1 for 1 in his career versus Salas. He goes back to the changeup. Molina, a master of calling pitches. They want to blow him up or try to that inside part of the plate with a fastball and run it back to the middle. Smith, good job of fighting that off.
Boy, that went right over Dave Duncan's head in the St. Louis Cardinal dugout. Fortunately, Dave was below the fence line. 1-2 on Smith. Spilborgh's a leadoff walk. Eric Young Jr. on deck. Smith with 5 home runs this year, all against righties. He's hitting .328 against right-handers. Great job. Smith, 22 extra base hits. That is tied for the club lead with Tulowitzki. Rockies got a run in the 3rd, a leadoff double by Ionetta. Eventually came around on an Eric Young Jr. sac fly. And Helton doubled leading off the 7th. He would score on a single by Wigginton. That's it. Foul tip held by Molina. Now the Rockies down to their final out. 3 strikeouts for Salas. Eric Young Jr. 0 for 3. And that sac fly. He came up with the bases loaded and 1 out in the 7th, and he hit a rocket. But right at Tyler Green, the second baseman, was kind of shaded up the middle, and Green caught it and flipped to Terrio to double off Spilborghs. And the Rockies, who had the bases loaded and nobody out, didn't score in that situation. The had scored earlier in the inning. They had the bases loaded, down by 2, nobody out, and you thought, here it is. They're going to erupt and at the very least tie up the baseball game. It didn't work out that way. One and one. Two balls and a strike. Two and two. I thought that pitch was high and away.
That is high and away, and then with EY with that slight crouch, I can understand why I thought that ball was out of the zone.
Spilborgh's moved up on the previous pitch, so it's 2 and 2. Back up the middle and on through, base hit. And Spilborgh's will come home. The Rockies within a run. Eric Young Jr. coming through his second ribby of the day.
And Dexter Fowler now needs to allow EY to try to get in a scoring position and be selective at the plate. EY comes up with another RBI, his second of the ball game, third of the year, and he's been up 2 days. Fastball out over, shot it by Salas, shot it by everybody up the middle. Cosma and Terrio do not have a play on the baseball, and Spilborgh's able to come around and score. And there again, when you're up 2 runs, to not hold a runner on and allow this to become a 1-run ball game, for me, I just don't buy into that theory of not holding the runner at first.
Yeah, this is an interesting one, George, because you have Carlos Gonzalez on deck. Yadier Molina throws exceptionally well. In terms of whether or not you run Junior here.
I really think if you had a veteran guy on the mound, and Salas is a guy that's been around a little bit, but nothing like anybody, you know, like a Ryan Franklin if he's right. They really turn their focus to Dexter Fowler and look at getting him out because of his inability to hit sometimes and strike out a lot. You know what I mean? I mean, he's got a lot of punch outs right now. So I'm surprised, you know, hey, if you want to steal second, I understand we're going to hold you on. We're going to do some things. We're not going to be stupid and make a mistake here. Focus is going to be on Dexter Fowler.
2 outs, 4-3 St. Louis. EY not going. That's on the outside corner, and Salas did not change his delivery to sidestep. Ford strike zone suggests that pitch was well off the plate. That doesn't matter. It's 0-1. Outfield playing no doubles. 0-2.
Tentative swing. Started and stopped halfway through, which tells me he didn't have a good read on the changeup at 86. Fowler, 1 for 1 with Salas, a home run. Down in the count, 0-2 here. Never be able to figure out why you would hold the ball there. I mean, you're the guy with the 1-run lead, and you're ahead 0-2 with 2 outs.
Here's the 0-2. Pulled toward the hole, out, 3 base hit. Eric Young Jr. will move to third. Rockies not done yet.
Remember, that's the 4th second baseman for Tony La Russa. Also, he's a shortstop, Pete Cosma. Good job, Dexter Fowler runs his career totals 2 for 2 against Salas. When he poked that ball through the right side, good for you, Dexter Fowler. Wanted to go away with it. Dexter got out front and just hooked it into the hole beyond Pete Cosma, and then it's Ely off to the races. After he hopped over the baseball, you're not going to have a play on him at third base, not with his speed.
And this is set up just as Jim Tracy would like it. Carlos Gonzalez coming up. The tying run at third, the winning run at first.
Yeah, how tough a play is this? You go out Dave Duncan's son. We got ourselves in a little bit of a situation here. You got first and third, and a very good hitter at the plate in Gonzalez. And we're going to have to be very particular in how we throw him. All they're trying to do right now is prevent one run and do it any way they possibly can.
The Rockies have not had a walk-off win this year. Carlos Gonzalez, who's hit 7 home runs and driven in 19 in May, is at the plate. He had a single in his last at bat to extend his hitting streak to 9 games. And a fly ball down the left field line. This is in no man's land, and it is dropped in foul territory by Descalso. It would have been a heck of a catch.
A wonderful catch by him if he would have been able to hang on to it. And it looked like the wind pushed it into foul territory. Descalso takes off on this ball right at the very end. You start to hear that gravel between your feet. You really don't know where you are to the wall. Great effort by him. I think Tony Russo, all he's thinking about that series a while back here a year ago. Rockies able to put a big, huge comeback on his Cardinals.
That 9-run ninth. 0-1 on Gonzalez. He caught a break there. See if he can take advantage with a second opportunity. Slow ground ball to short, and they go the short way, and that is the ball game. The Rockies lose another 1-run game. They're now 6-12 in 1-run games, and they have a disappointing homestand, to say the least. 2-5. They're 2 games south of 500 at 25-27, and amazingly, they're 2 games under 500 at 20th and Blake. Cardinals take the series. They win this afternoon 4-3. Kyle Loesch improves to 7-2. And Yuli Chassin drops to 5-4. This winner of the game brought to you by Jimmy John's, America's favorite sandwich delivery guys. Kyle Loesch was just outstanding for 6 innings. He ran into trouble in the 7th before departing. But again, he wins for the 7th time this year. Final score, St. Louis 4, the Rockies 3. The Toyota postgame show is next. We'll talk to you from